Hello again, my name's John. I'm a retired chef from the northeast of England in the UK, and welcome to my latest bread video. And in this one I'll be making this fantastic, delicious and very versatile classic French brioche bread. You can view the ingredients list and full written method for this recipe on the recipe page on my website. I'll leave links at the end and under the video, or just click on the eye icon top right of the screen. Before I go any further, I'd like to give a quick shout out to this week's Patreon and PayPal donators, and they are Jutta Schneider, Nathan Lilty, Aura Collins, Hakan Engstrom, Tony Little, Sarah Clark, Neil Moore, Linda Thompson, Rick Clark, and finally Cole Computers and Electronics. And once again, thank you for your continued support, everyone. It really does help keep the channel going. For this recipe you will need a stand mixer. This is not a bread dough you can easily knead by hand. And before starting the recipe, I should say this first stage of making brioche really has to be done the day before and kept in the fridge overnight. This allows the fantastic taste and texture to develop, and this soft dough becomes much easier to handle when it's cold the next day. But believe me, it's well worth the wait. Right, I'll start by adding the cold eggs to the mixer bowl, followed by the sugar and the yeast, and I'll mix those together. Now I'm using this instant dried yeast, but you can use active dried yeast just the same way, or if you want to use fresh yeast, you'll need 20 grams and just crumble it in with the eggs and sugar. Now I've already done a test on this batch of yeast and it's working fine. If you want to check yours, you can do a yeast test by checking my sandwich bread video. I'll leave a link in the description box below, or just click on the eye icon top right of the screen. Next, I'll add the salt to the flour and mix that in. Now I'll turn the machine onto its slowest setting, and to prevent the flour from flying all over the place, I'll add it to the bowl a little at a time. Once a stiff dough has formed, start adding the cold butter a little at a time. At the start of the mix, you may need to scrape down the sides of the bowl a couple of times. Once the butter is incorporated into the dough, you can increase the speed by 1 and mix until the dough starts to release from the sides of the bowl. This normally takes between 10 to 15 minutes. And just out of interest, I'll set my timer on count up mode to see exactly how long this one will take. But it does vary depending on room temperatures. And this is what mine looks like after 5 minutes. And after 10 minutes, it's starting to release from the bowl. And that's it done, and mine took about 12 minutes in total. Right, I'll get the mixer out of the way and lightly oil a bowl. Now I'm using a little olive oil because it was the first one I put my hands on, but you can use any oil you like. Now I'll turn out the dough onto a floured surface and form it into a ball. Now I'll get it into the bowl, cover it and let it relax for 30 minutes at room temperature. And just out of interest, it's taken 15 minutes up till now from starting the mix. After the 30 minutes, knock back any rise, cover the bowl again and get it into the fridge for at least 8 hours. And this will allow that wonderful brioche texture and flavour to develop. You can even leave this in the fridge for a couple of days, so you can make this well in advance. Right, it's the next day and as you can see mine has risen a little but not a great deal, but that's normal. Now I'll scrape it out of the bowl and give it a quick knock back. You can use a little flour if you like. Try not to handle it too much, that will keep the temperature of the dough cold, hence easier to handle. And try to use your scraper as much as possible. And if you haven't got a scraper, I've got them on sale on the website shop if you're interested. And what you have now is your basic brioche dough. It's up to you what you want to make from it. I'm going to give you 3 examples. First I'll make a couple of burger buns. Brioche burger buns are pretty popular at the moment. Then I'll do 3 smaller chocolate filled buns, and with what's left I'll do a medium plaited loaf. Or if you like and you have one of these classic brioche moulds, you can make one of those. But I just want to show what you can do different with this dough. So I need 2 at 125 grams for the burger buns. Then I'll need 3 at 100 grams for the chocolate filled buns. And I'll divide what's left into 3 to make the plaited loaf. I'll just let you watch a while I go through these examples, but like I said, these are just a few ideas of what you can make with this bread dough. And to bake them on, I'll just prepare a couple of trays. I'm using a little lard to grease mine, but you can use oil or butter, or you can bake them on parchment paper if you prefer that. Right, I've got everything rolled out into balls. Now I'll start with the 3 strips for the plaited loaf. The best way to do this is to roll a little bit, let them relax, then do a little bit more. If your dough starts to get a bit sticky, just add a little flour. Right, I'll let those relax while I do the 2 burger buns followed by the other 3 chocolate buns. These chocolate ones are easy to make. All you do is hollow them out, fill them with chocolate chips and then close the bottoms. It's easier to watch than it is to explain it. Right, that's a couple of examples of what you can do with this brioche. Now I'll get on with this platted loaf. And there you go, the third option of what you can do with this fantastic brioche dough. And now you simply treat it like any other bread dough by giving it a light dusting with flour and cover it with a lightweight dry cloth and let it rise at room temperature for at least 45 minutes. I'm going to give mine an hour, but it all depends on the temperature of your kitchen on how long it'll take. And to give you an idea, my kitchen is 22 degrees Celsius at the moment, which is about 72 Fahrenheit. When there's only 10 minutes left on the rise, preheat your oven to 170 degrees Celsius, that's 340 Fahrenheit, or gas mark 4. I'm setting mine to 150 Celsius as my oven's fan assisted and it runs about 20 degrees hotter than indicated on the dial. Right, time's up and time to have a look and see how they're doing. And these are looking great. What I do now is give them a brush with egg wash. All this is one well beaten egg with a tiny amount of milk. The milk makes the egg wash a lot smoother to brush on. After they've been egg washed, I like to sprinkle on a little of this pearl or nib sugar over the sweet ones and a few sesame seeds over the burger buns. Now I'll get them into the preheated oven and set the timer for 25 minutes. Right, time's up, and looking at the platted loaf it could do with another few minutes, but the rest are done. So I'll get those out and reset the timer for another 4 minutes. Once they are out of the oven, transfer them from the baking tray onto a wire rack to cool. And after that extra time, the loaf is done too. Okay, I'll let those cool for 20 minutes and I'll be back to have a little look at the inside to see what the texture's like and of course have a little taste. Right, I'll have to try one of these chocolate ones first. They're still warm and they smell fantastic. The outside has a touch of crispness, and as you can see, the texture is light and fluffy on the inside. And they are really delicious. Apparently, the proper way to eat brioche is to tear it open first, then dip it into your coffee or hot chocolate, usually at breakfast time. But these get the thumbs up from me and my family any time of the day. And once again, please support my Patreon appeal, or you can make a one-off donation using my PayPal page. It really does go a long way towards ingredients and production costs, as every penny pledged goes back into my videos. And whether you've donated or not, thanks again for your wonderful support in watching the channel. Well, thank you again for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe by hitting the circle above. If you do subscribe, activate the bell icon next to the subscribe button on my channel page. And by doing that, you'll be automatically notified every time I upload a new video. And in the meantime, here's a few of my other videos and playlists that you may want to watch. So, until the next time, be safe in the kitchen and bye for now.